Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace. I'm gonna make another video on this topic. I made one earlier today for a different channel, but basically I was in the hospital. I was actually admitted in it. It was basically 2 days and 1 night, and it was a horrible time. So much being thrown at me. They told me so much. I had 3 doctors. 3 doctors, I don't know how many nurses, and others, PAs, whatever else. And the result is the same thing that happened to me last year without the guts and gore stuff. But last year in May and in June, I was in the hospital ER 3 times, and I didn't have health insurance back then, so I basically didn't get much other than, they didn't tell me much other than they did a CT the first time and said that my umbilical cord did not close as a baby. It never closed, and it had an abscess. So they took care of that. And then I'd ask other questions about, well, what caused this? What caused that? Crickets. And this one, at least he didn't do the crickets that I went to. He just flat said, I do not know. I do not know. he wasn't being sarcastic. He just flat out said, I do not know. You know? I mean, it's the swelling in my stomach again. Makes me look like a 61-year-old woman who's 9 months pregnant. And I have a rare health condition, and as I was there, like I said, I had 3 different doctors, and one of them suggested that I have yet another one, rare health condition. Like, okay, I'm just a person who's going to get that. I mean, it wasn't like, it's really no big deal. Okay, rare, okay, so what? I already have one. Had it, since I was a child, so. But anyway, they were really on me. And there was something else on the CT. I don't want to go into it until they actually do all that they need to do, and I have to get specialists too, and find out what's going on with me all around. And then they know new stuff now about the rare health condition, and they can treat it in a different ways, plural. So we'll see what happens. I'm very tired. I have not made up sleep. I didn't have much sleep the day before, and so on and so on. In the hospital, people, one of them had said, one of the nurses, she said, well, I was very tired, very sleepy. And she said, yeah, we keep waking you up all night. So that's not it. I said, it's me. I said, I could not sleep. I could not make myself go to sleep. And then one of the times, because they haven't been pumping me with a lot of medication, and I know one of the side effects is that it can cause hallucinations. And that, I don't even remember which one, because so many, what medication doesn't have a side effect, a possible side effect? I don't know. That's not my field. But I know one of those, either, I think it's one of them I'm on, or they wanted to put me on. Well, I know there was another one they wanted to put me on, not this set, but a doctor. And I said, no, it can cause all kinds of, it was central nervous system issues, 16 or something of them. That was that doctor. I said, no, thank you, to one of. Not connected to this hospitalization stuff. But anyway, and it was weird that night. I could not sleep, and it had been about very little sleep, and probably at that point maybe 48 hours, very little sleep. And I'm talking maybe, one time maybe 4 hours, if that, and the other time maybe an hour. The next night, yeah. And I started seeing something like, maybe you've seen it. How sometimes they have a whole bunch of pictures, like in a magazine. They have a magazine cover. They have a whole bunch of pictures, and all those little pictures makes a picture. Okay, that's not my thing either, so I don't know what that's called. Some kind of collage that makes another picture. Yeah, whatever. But that's what I was seeing. I was seeing it. I probably have actually seen it, and it was like little bitty pictures, photos, you know, shaped in what would that be? I guess a rectangle, vertical rectangle, and each photo would go, psh, and it was there, and then psh, another one. Okay, it was so wicked, and these photos were scary stuff, and I cannot recall. I remember saying, "What is going on? Why am I seeing all this? You know, what is it?" And it could have been just a nightmare. You know, I could have actually been asleep. It was so sleepy, I was asleep, and this was happening. But it was weird. And then, like I said, just weird things. Like, I think one of them was a weird cat, but it looked like it was bronzed. Bronze, whatever it's called. I don't know if it would be sculpture. Picture, and a picture of it or something. Of a cat. But they kind of seemed a bit like you might find on Discovery or something. I think it's Discovery. I haven't watched, or I think the TV had Discovery Channel, so could have been. Anyway, it was so weird. I mean, it was a bad time all around. I mean, not like horrible, but you know, just being away from home, not knowing what was going on, hearing some iffy kind of news, and plus the people were actually pretty nice, except for one. Oh yes, got to be the one. Has to be one for me at least. And they were all having problems. It's nothing unusual. This has been going on for many years. I have regular sized arms. I don't have big arms or anything. Actually, they're kind of small. I mean, not small, but skinny, you know. And not big. I have muscles, but not huge. You know, like, so it's not my arm. Like I told the woman, I said, it's not like my arm is all that big. She said, not. So she couldn't figure it out. But none of them, as in any place I go, they can't get my blood pressure. Not very often. It's very rare that they can actually get my blood pressure when they use one of those that's on a machine, you know, any kind of them. Doesn't matter. I can't explain it either. Hey, you know, rare stuff. And that they can't get it. And they're right there, so it's not me doing it and trying to tell them. It's they're doing it. They said, I don't get this. Why can't we? You're asking the wrong person. They did get it a couple of times before I left. And but the whole thing was that there was that one that she was just very moody. Very, very moody. And sometimes it was like she was being very rude. But then she'd say something and it would seem like, oh, she caught herself and she can't do like that, or she'd lose her job. You know, this kind of thing. But she would bounce a lot. And she was one that was determined she was going to get it. And I'm like, this is hurting me. You know? Like I said, they finally did get it at some point from those, but by that time they had already established that, even that they called some guy over, and that's the one I say, there's always going to be that one. Well, she went and got some guy, and then the nurse came too. I guess she wanted witnesses. Oh my God. She couldn't do it. She's sitting right there. What am I going to do? I'm just sitting there going, you know, I'm not doing anything, just sitting there. And anyway, she went and got some guy, and he came back. He goes, you're being a troublemaker, you know, laughing and joking about it. I said, oh, you betcha I am. And he caught on what was going on. The one woman, she wanted to get it, and then he finally, you know, did it with the old-fashioned way, you know, where they actually pump it up. And every time I tell them, you're going to have to use that old-fashioned one where you know, pump it up. I wouldn't say pump it up, I said just say the old-fashioned kind. Oh, no, they were determined they were going to get it this way. You know, because they have to monitor that kind of stuff, you know. But you're not going to do it. It's not going to work. And I'm not going to go through pain every time. And So anyway, they, you know, he came in and he did it, and yeah, he caught on. You know, she was determined she was going to have it her way. You can't do that with patients. Patients' pain level, pain period, is more important than you getting your numbers. You know, that's what they kept calling numbers. I've heard it so many times over years. So, you know, there's no explanation for why it does that way to me. But then they did finally, like I said, they finally got it they did it once and then did another one right after it. You know, did another one later on, hours later. They finally got those 2 sets. But both times there was a 20-point gap, you know, difference. Like the first time, it was 20 points in the systolic difference. And then the other one, not so much, the diastolic, I don't know, whatever it is. And then the second time they did, hours later, they finally got it. And it was, again, 20-point difference. And so finally, I explained to the young woman, she's a nurse, and she's very bright. I said, so you're going to trust that? Because she was telling her PA, yeah, we did that, we got it this morning, we got it again, and, you know, there's difference each time, and so I looked, I said, that's 20 points difference. And I said, so can we trust this? And she caught on, you know, yeah, that's 20-point difference. That's a lot, okay? So she did it on the arm, and altogether it was about, from the highest to the lowest was 30 points difference. So the second one, it was 10-point difference. So altogether around 30. So the old-fashioned one is going to be the one to trust, in my opinion. They probably don't have that, what would the term be, calibrated right. In each place, they just buy them and they use them and they don't have them checked on. Maintenance, whatever you're going to call, whatever they do to it. They just don't do that. You know, you have to take care. I mean, how many times you're in the hospital, how many times are you using those things daily? And you're not going to have any maintenance on them? Come on. Okay. And I don't know for certain that they haven't, but I have asked before. Sure did. I remember one of them, I told him, I said, you know, y'all have had this since I've been seen here. And that place I had been seen for, I don't know, I'd say over 10 years. So, and I asked, and she's like, we need a what? Or something that indicated that they don't have them checked, they just use them. You know, and I'm like, right, okay. And they're like, they're so clueless. You don't have to have these things. Yeah, you do. Anyway, so I'm extremely tired, really, and then today, you know, I got it. I was there until yesterday, and just 2 days, 1 night, and then today I have a big bruise on my body. It's, well, I'd say big. It's the size of, say, a baseball. You know, on my skin. I mean, of course, on my skin, but. Well, you can have it elsewise. But anyway, it's on my midsection, abdominal area, on my, there on the side. Not really on the side, but close to the side. And that I have not, that's usually where I can put insulin, but I have not put insulin there since over a week ago. And that's a long time, but it's a bruise, just came up. And the thing that came to my mind was the one that got it. She got it while I was asleep at night. The little hour or so I slept at night. Okay, I don't know what somebody's doing down the road, so I'll move this. But anyway, the one that got it, it was the one overnight, the one that's moody and all that. And I tried to get out of her, how does she do it? And I'd say things like, oh, you broke the code, or something like this. I was so out of it. And so, I don't know about that. And she would have this, she would never tell me. And she had such a sarcasm, like she didn't want to tell me how she did it. And the first thing that came to my mind whenever I saw this bruise on me was her. Really, I mean, that was weird, because I never felt her taking it that night. Never felt her doing it. And all I remember was at one point, and I didn't even wake up. Did not even wake up. And except I remember at one point she said, "Do you want some ice?" And I answered twice, "Yes, yes." And then she brought the ice, and then a few minutes, I don't know how long later, it was maybe a few minutes or so, that's when I woke up. But my first thought was something was weird about her, And I'm not going to say that this was her, but I actually, some stuff that happened, I actually did have a little bit of a meltdown because of some of the stuff the second doctor was saying. The first one was real nice, something the second doctor, and they do it on the screen. Not doctors there don't come in to do their rounds. They do it on screen, online. But anyway, the things that he said, he was throwing too much at me, and I was trying to ask questions, and of course being avoided. I still don't know what causes this after all that, And so after everybody left, Adam was there most of the time, but after he went out, I was by myself. I had a meltdown. I was upset. I'm one that believes don't keep it all bottled up inside. Even, if you're just going to have to sit there with yourself and, rah, 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 I was very sleepy, remember. And I really don't have much of a filter anymore. And so I just kind of let it out, to say, these people never answer, they never say, they never do this, and that whole never and always and stuff. It's not my kind of way of thinking. But, say, I'm tired of it. And anyway, that nice nurse, the smart young one, she came in, and then she started saying some stuff, and that's when I had a meltdown. I mean, a total crying fit. And she told Adam, when Adam came back, I told Adam, and because he kept kind of looking at me, and she said, yeah, in the conversation, she said, I would be more worried if she hadn't had one because of everything. She said, that's, I said, I agree, and then something else was said or something, and I said, it really is, or I said that before then, because of what was all being said and everything, that my behavior was quite appropriate. And she said it was. She agreed with me. I don't need her to agree with me, but yeah. Because of everything that was being said and all the way that it was working, and it was a bit too much. It was basically 24 hours of too much being intense, and the intensity was, I guess that's the right word, too high, too much. And even Adam was just worn out. He's still trying to catch up on sleep. He said it was just so much. And I can't even describe, and still come out of there not knowing what causes this. Could be that rare health condition the woman said. It sounded like oomph. The first, and after that, forget it was all this stuff. But I'd never heard it before. And she says she was saying it's very, very rare. Yeah. Okay, mine is very rare to rare. Oh my goodness. But at some point, then I was telling Adam, at some point, we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves for, we've been forgetting things. And for me, it's not so much forgetting things. I could not connect the dots. There's just so much being told to me, said to me, told. I'm wanting to say that on purpose. But, and trying to connect all the dots, being ill, being tired, sleepy, had a fever, had an infection, my stomach area, around the navel, under, over, inside, all that. And That's where they have that, might have that rare health condition, and very, very rare. And all this on and on, in all the stress that we've been having for a while now. We've been under a lot of stress. And anyway, I told him, I said, we should not be so hard on ourselves. He's older than I, and he was having some, forgetting things. Me in a way too, but mine was more about the connecting the dots at the same time. Just overwhelmed, So let's not, for both of us to have at the same time, with all the stress going on. So I'm not going to worry about all that right now, not at all. But anyway, like I said, I made some of this in another video. I think it flowed less in that one than this one. And I'm not expecting, it never does flow with me, right? But so much more to it. I'll get to it someday. Right now, I just wanted to get out of the house for a little bit and make this video. I can't really sit down too long because it's in, it's where my navel is and everything. And just sitting down, it's kind of like a pressure, so I kind of lean back. Like I said, I look like a 61-year-old 9-month pregnant woman. It's like, what the crap? Because, it's so swollen. And they can't figure out what's wrong. And Adam actually flat out asked them. He said, we keep hearing about this. And I don't even remember what it's called, Lasix or something. No, I don't know. That makes me think of that rubber stuff. Whatever that they give to. Because I had asked, what do they give to? How do they get water off a person, fluid off of a person? I had no idea how they do it. And the nurse at the time, she said they give the person Lasix. Is that it, Lace? Or am I pronouncing it wrong? Anyway, and so he had heard it from her, so he asked. That was in the ER. Then whenever I got it admitted into the room and in the room and all that, he asked someone, and they said no, they wouldn't do that to me because I'm on 2 medications that have diuretics. Okay. And obviously they're not working or something. Because all of a sudden this swelling. I mean, really. It's not there. It was there last year. The same kind of thing happened, but it was a bit worse, I guess. And this is pretty bad. It hurts quite a bit. And I'm one that doesn't feel pain as much because of that rare health condition. I don't feel pain like other people feel it. Like they give me these insulin shots, and I do my own insulin. I know this is the case. Very rarely do I feel it. Sometimes it is really painful. So basically, I now have bruises on the outside of my arm or outside of my arms, and I never felt anything. Cuts, never felt anything. And they knew that because of the rare health condition. Not too many know about it, but once, the first one admitted that she said, I knew once upon a time what all that is. And she's retiring soon. So the other ones say, yeah, I've read on it, I've heard about it. It's just not that commonly known. It's so rare that and that one was the good nurse, I said, smart nurse, and she said, I haven't had to deal with it, with any patient with it. And I know this. I can guess this. One nurse one time years ago told me that anybody working, any doctor or whatever, healthcare provider, would only see one patient their whole life. Not their whole career, but their whole life. So it's rare. Got it? Good. But now they know so much more about it, and they can tackle it a different way. Imagine getting to 61, and I had that thought when I was younger. I said, yeah, I'm going to get to be like 60 or so, and then I can say, oh, we can help fix this way. Well, I don't care, fix it whatever way, but still, it would have been nice when I was younger too, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye. Okay, it's the next day. I kept in that video, if I remember to add this to it, I made yesterday, I kept saying Discovery when it's when I know that it is National Geographic magazine, and I guess they have a channel, but somebody clue me in why I'm making this connection between Discover or Discovery. I don't know. I looked it up, but I didn't really see why I would be making that connection. I guess they're all about, like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe that. But, you know, I have been in the hospital and all. And anyway, I wanted to clear that up. I knew it was National Geographic. Now I'm going to forget it. They had me on some meds, okay. Yeah, but I mean, I met her, but the pain and all that, yeah, the pain's still there, and yeah, you know, the next day. But what else was I going to mention? Oh, I'm going to go and watch, by the way, today is September 3rd, 2024. I'm going to go, I found where I can watch it, Terms of Endearment. Yeah, I actually saw that at the theater, cinema. Yeah, the cinema. When it was out, that was what I looked it up. When I looked it up, it said 1983, but I don't know if it came out then, or was made then, or if there was a difference. So it was way back then. And I was probably 19 or 20 years old. Yeah, probably 20 or so. So, and I didn't catch it all back then, but you know what is one of my favorite topics, because I'm around these types, unfortunately, and my whole life. I mean, literally, my whole life. Histrionics. Those with the histrionic behavior. You know, the focus has to be on them. Other people can have it a little bit. You know, they don't totally lack empathy. They don't totally. But other people can have the focus on them a little bit, but not too long. Oh, no, you get a little bit. Sometimes, some people. But then it has to be turned back around to them, the focus, everybody's focus, everybody's center of attention, ASAP. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Yeah, already. Can you believe it? I can. I don't really want to say that. I really don't. You know, it's much easier to not notice than it is to have to accept that people do certain things. You know what I mean? It really is. Like, have you ever caught yourself doing that? Saying, it must just be me. I'm the only person who would see that. And other people might look at you and say, are you out of your mind? Of course that is what's going on. Or, you know, maybe nobody tells you. But it's easier to say, it's just me. You know, it really is easier than to accept the fact that somebody's actually doing that, trying to do that to you, about you, to you, or to somebody you know. It's much easier. You know, and it's also much easier to think that, you know, it's just you know, they're just doing that just right now. Maybe they are feeling a little bit this, and you know, you feel compassion, you know, feel empathy for them. You know, well, they maybe are having a hard time with this or that. And then to say, they do that all the time. This is how they are. It's easier to say they're just having a rough time instead of saying, these people are bad, man. Really bad. But anyway, I want to watch that. Yeah, really. Maybe I'll make me some popcorn and sit there and watch this stuff. What other? I'm thinking I'm 99% sure it's Terms of Endearment, and maybe a couple more. Anyway, wrapping it up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.